Most men don't have hobbies, not real ones. They have things they do when there's nothing else going on. Shows they're halfway through. Games they play without really caring. Scrolling that fills the gap between one obligation and the next. Ask a guy what he's into, and watch his eyes. There's a half-second pause before the answer. That pause is the whole problem. This is a list of 10 hobbies worth actually having. I'll tell you what they really feel like to start. Not the inspiring version, the real one. And why the men who stick with them quietly become different. Let's go. Number 10. Rock climbing. First session reality. You will not be able to open a jar for 3 days. Your forearms give out halfway up a beginner route. A 12-year-old floats past you. You peel off the wall, land on the mat, and lie there, reconsidering everything. Then you look back up and think, okay, but what if I moved my left foot first? Climbing doesn't let you zone out. Every route is a problem your brain has to solve before your body executes it. When you fail, the feedback is instant and completely honest. No theory, no excuses, wrong foot. Try again. The other thing, and this matters, the culture selects against ego. Everyone in a bouldering gym is failing. The advanced guys are failing on harder problems. You can ask anyone for advice, and they'll give it. Because they care about the problem, not about looking good. Most guys quit because they don't want to look incompetent in public. Within 40 minutes, you stop caring. Then you're hooked. Number 9. Cooking. Most men in their 20s eat the same 6 things on rotation, without ever deciding that's what they're doing. It's not a choice. It's just what happened. Cooking fixes that, but that's the least interesting reason to do it. More interesting. It's the only hobby with a 45-minute feedback loop. You make something. You eat it. It works or it doesn't. Your brain gets a clean signal. I made this, and it succeeded. That loop is addictive in a healthy way. And it's rare. Most things worth doing take months to show results. Social angle, honestly. Most guys wait to be invited somewhere. The guy who cooks has a reason to invite people. Low bar. Big difference. What nobody tells you. The first month you'll overcook everything and undersalt everything. That's just the learning curve. Push through it. 5 dishes. Memorized. Not recipes you follow. Things you can make without looking at your phone. That's the real goal. Number 8. A martial art. Your first BJJ class. You get a GI. Someone takes you through warm-ups your body has never done. Then a guy you've never met wraps himself around you and chokes you until you tap. Then another one does it. Then a third. You drive home unable to turn your head left. And most people go back. Because something about it is clarifying in a way that's hard to explain. And obvious once you've experienced it. You failed. Completely. Repeatedly. In front of strangers. Nobody made it dramatic. You tapped. Reset. Went again. That structure. Fail. Reset. No story about it. Is one of the most useful things a man can wire into himself. The carryover is real. A difficult conversation at work. A moment where someone's pushing you around. You respond differently. Not because you're thinking about fighting. Because you've already sat with real discomfort, repeatedly, and didn't flinch. People notice it without knowing what they're noticing. Muay Thai if you want to get fit fast. BJJ if you want to be systematically humbled and somehow love it. Number 7. Learning a language. For the first 3 months, you sound like a concussed tourist. You know 40 words. You mispronounce half of them. Locals either find it charming or switch to English out of mercy. Then something shifts. You stop translating in your head and start thinking. Then one day, you're in a real conversation about something that actually matters. And it's happening. Not perfectly, but happening. That moment is unlike anything else on this list, because you earned it in a way that's completely unambiguous. The process is the real training. Language learning has almost no shortcuts. You show up daily, feel stupid regularly, and trust progress you can't see yet. Men who can do that for 18 months can do it anywhere. They've already proved it to themselves. Concrete moment it locks in. You're abroad. Something goes wrong. You handle it in their language. You surprise yourself. Worth the 18 months. Number 6. Something creative. Photography, writing, drawing, music production, leatherwork. Doesn't matter. Here's what they all share. You make something. It's worse than what you imagined. You make it again. Slightly better. You delete the first attempts. You cringe at early work 6 months later. That cringe is actually the proof. You can only see how bad it was because you've improved. The closing gap between what you can imagine and what you can actually produce is one of the most quietly satisfying experiences available. Most men never find it, because the start is embarrassing, and nobody warned them that's just how it goes. One rule: pick something you'd do alone on a Saturday with nobody watching. That's where real interest lives. If it feels like a personality trait you're performing, pick again. Number 5. Running. Nobody likes running at first. Saying otherwise is dishonest. First 2 weeks, your lungs are surprised. Your legs are heavy. You finish 20 minutes feeling like you've been in a minor car accident. Week 3 or 4, the adaptation happens. You start going because not going feels worse. That's the actual moment. Everything before it is just getting there. The reason running is on this list isn't fitness. It's this. You're 3 kilometers from home, your legs are done, and you can't call a taxi. You have to get yourself back. The specific moment it teaches you something. You check your distance. You're only halfway. You negotiate with yourself. 1 more kilometer, and then we'll see. Then 1 more. Then you're home. That negotiation. That's the training. Number 4. Reading. You've heard this one, so I'll skip to the part that actually matters. Most men who try to read more fail. Not because they hate books. They pick the wrong ones. Ones they think they should read. They slog through 50 pages feeling like homework. And stop. If it feels like homework, you picked wrong. Read what you'd genuinely grab at a bookstore, if nobody was watching. Once the habit exists, make it more intentional. Biography is where I'd send most men. People who built something hard, or survived something worse than your current problems. The effect is real. After enough of those, your own setbacks start to look like data points, not verdicts. You've borrowed enough perspective from the past that you stop treating difficulty as a reason to stop. 20 minutes a night instead of scrolling. 20+ books a year. Different person in 12 months. Simple math. Number 3. Strength training. Here's the thing about lifting that doesn't get said. The first month, you go because you decided to. The 6th month, you go because you've become someone who goes. That shift, from "I'm trying to work out" to "I train," is the real product. And it doesn't stay in the gym. Every commitment you make after that gets filtered through a man who has already proven, repeatedly, that he keeps promises to himself when it's inconvenient. That changes how you show up everywhere. Stop rotating programs every 2 weeks. Pick one. Run it for 6 months. The program matters less than you think. Consistency matters more than you think. That's the whole thing. Number 2. Woodworking. Walk around your apartment. Everything in it was made by someone. Your desk, your shelves, your chairs, and you have almost certainly never made anything physical in your adult life. There's a satisfaction available in making a tangible object that modern life has nearly eliminated for most men. Your work is invisible. Emails, decisions, updates. At the end of the week, nothing to hold. That has a cost most men never identify. Woodworking gives you back the tangible. You start with raw material. It becomes something. Your mistakes are visible and must be solved in physical space. The shelf holds weight or it doesn't. No ambiguity. It also enforces a specific kind of patience. You cannot rush a joint. You cannot undo a cut. The material doesn't care about your intentions. Start. 1 shelf. 4 planks. A drill. 6 screws. First one will be slightly crooked. Make it anyway. The second will be better. Number 1. Music. Month 1. Your fingers hurt. You practice the same 4 bars for 40 minutes. It sounds bad. You know it sounds bad. You do it anyway. Month 3. A chord change becomes smooth. You play through something. Not well, but through it. And for 1 second, you see what this actually is. Month 12. You have something. Not mastery. Something yours. Music is number 1 because nothing else on this list does what it does. The cognitive demand is real. Both hands doing different things. Timing. Ear training. Reading notation. All at once. The emotional dimension is specific in a way nothing else is. When you play something that captures what you're actually feeling, you've done something with that feeling. Most men never manage. You put it somewhere outside yourself. The social effect is disproportionate. You don't need me to explain it. 15 minutes a day. Real teacher for the first 10 lessons. The instrument you actually want, not the sensible one. 2 years from now, you'll have something no one can take from you. Here's the honest version of why most men don't have real hobbies. Starting means being bad at something. And being bad at something, alone, with nobody watching, nobody to perform for, is uncomfortable in a way that's very easy to avoid. So they don't start. And year after year, the free time stays formless. A long exhale between things that actually matter. The men who pick something and stay with it. Who show up when it's boring, when they're not improving fast enough, when quitting would be easy, become different, not because the hobby is magic, because that's what growth actually looks like from the inside. Unglamorous, repetitive, chosen anyway. Pick one. Start ugly, stay.